Welcome back to K-Drama Cycle, where stories of love, fate, and quiet connections come alive. Today, we dive into one that has caught everyone off guard, Yu and Tian Xuning. What started as a simple friendship on set has grown into something deeper, something fans are now calling the bond no one expected. The chemistry between these two has become impossible to ignore, both on and off the screen, and it has everyone wondering, has friendship turned into something more? It all began during the filming of their latest project, a romantic drama that paired Yu and Tian Xuning as co-leads for the very first time. At first, the connection was professional, two dedicated actors bringing characters to life. But soon, fans noticed something special. During interviews, the way Ziyu's eyes softened when Tian Xuning spoke, or how Tian Xuning seemed to always look to him before answering a question, it wasn't scripted. It felt real. Their natural closeness made viewers feel as though they were witnessing something unfold beyond the camera's frame. Behind the scenes, production staff revealed that Ziyu was often protective of Tian Xuning. Whenever a scene demanded emotional intensity, he made sure she was comfortable. If she stumbled on her lines, he would gently encourage her, often saying, "Take your time, we'll get it right together." It was these small, genuine gestures that began to tell a bigger story, one of quiet affection growing between two people who were supposed to just be colleagues. The spark didn't go unnoticed. When behind-the-scenes clips began circulating online, fans immediately reacted. One video showed Ziyu adjusting Tian Xuning's coat during a cold night shoot. Another showed them laughing softly between takes, their hands brushing accidentally, followed by a moment of shared silence that seemed to linger just a bit too long. Fans flooded social media with comments like, "They're glowing when they look at each other, and this isn't acting anymore, this is real." Both Ziyu and Tian Xuning tried to stay composed amid the growing attention. In interviews, when asked about their chemistry, Ziyu simply smiled and said, "We work well together because we trust each other." Tian Xuning added softly, "He's a wonderful partner to work with, very kind and patient." But the warmth in her eyes said much more than her words ever could. The more they tried to downplay their connection, the more fans became convinced that something deeper was happening behind the scenes. As their drama aired, audiences couldn't stop talking about the authenticity of their emotional scenes. Every gaze, every touch felt too real. Critics praised their performances, calling it effortless chemistry and heartfelt connection, but fans believed there was a reason it looked so natural, because it was. In fan forums and online communities, discussions turned from admiration to speculation. Were Ziyu and Tian Xuning still just friends, or had their bond evolved into something more? Off-screen, their actions only fueled the conversation. Ziyu was spotted attending an art exhibition where Tian Xuning was an invited guest, even though he wasn't listed as part of the event. Later, she was seen visiting a music showcase where Ziyu performed a surprise song. Eyewitnesses described their interaction as soft and private, with Ziyu constantly checking to make sure she was comfortable in the crowd. What made their connection even more compelling was its sincerity. There was no show, no grand gestures, just quiet companionship. A source close to them shared that they often meet in small cafes to talk about scripts, share books, and exchange ideas. But what touched everyone most was when Tian Xuning mentioned Ziyu during a live stream. When a fan asked who supported her the most during a difficult time, she paused, smiled, and said, "Someone who always listens, even when I say nothing." Fans instantly knew who she meant. Meanwhile, Ziyu hasn't shied away from showing admiration either. During a recent fan meeting, he was asked to describe his ideal partner. He replied, "Someone who doesn't pretend to be perfect. Someone who's honest, who smiles through the chaos." As he said it, he gave a knowing look that made the crowd cheer. Everyone knew he was describing Tian Xuning. Their growing bond has become one of the most talked about topics online. While some fans insist it's purely friendship, others are convinced it's something deeper, something that has blossomed naturally over time. The beauty of their connection lies in its authenticity. In an industry where so much feels rehearsed, Ziyu and Tian Xuning's warmth feels refreshing, even healing. They've been through challenges too. With the media constantly speculating about their relationship, both stars have had to find balance between their private lives and public personas. Yet, instead of drifting apart, they seem to have grown even closer. Those who work with them describe an unspoken understanding between the two, how one glance can convey what words cannot. Ziyu often jokes that Tian Xuning reads minds too well, while she teases him about being too serious for his own good. But beneath their playful banter lies something tender, something real. In one of the most touching moments captured by fans, Ziyu was seen quietly placing his jacket over Tian Xuning's shoulders during a late-night wrap-up. She didn't notice at first, but when she turned to see him smiling softly, she laughed and thanked him. That moment, simple and unscripted, became one of the most shared clips online. Proof that sometimes love doesn't need to be announced, it just needs to be felt. Now, as both stars prepare for their next projects, fans are left wondering what comes next. Will their friendship evolve into something official? Or will they continue to guard their hearts quietly, away from public eyes? One thing's for sure, whatever they share is built on trust, respect, and something that's grown slowly but deeply. Whether it's love or the rarest kind of friendship, it's clear that Ziyu and Tian Xuning have found something special in each other. As one fan beautifully wrote, in a world of headlines and noise, they found peace in each other's silence. Perhaps that's what makes their story so powerful, not the spectacle, but the sincerity. In an industry where everything is fleeting, their bond feels like something that might just last. This has been K-Drama Cycle, where stories of love, friendship, and destiny unfold beyond the screen. Stay tuned for more emotional journeys, and remember sometimes the quietest connections are the ones that speak the loudest. Months passed, and while the buzz around Ziyu and Tian Xuning's bond had calmed a little, fans couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper was happening quietly, away from the spotlight. What began as curiosity had turned into genuine admiration for how gracefully the two handled everything. No scandals, no defensive statements, just pure, natural connection. But then came the surprise that reignited everything. The two were spotted together again, this time not for a work event, but at what looked like a quiet dinner with close friends. The photos leaked online late at night, Ziyu and Tian Xuning sitting close, laughing with their group, their shoulders brushing often. What caught fans' attention was the way he looked at her, gentle, focused, and undeniably warm. It wasn't the look of a co-star anymore. It was something far more intimate. The internet exploded within hours. Hashtags like hashtag Ziyu and Tian sitting together again and hashtag the look of love started trending across platforms. Some fans were ecstatic, calling it the moment they'd been waiting for. Others were cautious, saying, let's not jump to conclusions. Maybe they're still just friends. But deep down, everyone could sense a shift. Something had changed. Insiders revealed that even though their last drama had wrapped months ago, Ziyu and Tian Xuning never lost contact. They were seen supporting each other quietly, attending private events, celebrating milestones, and even sharing similar captions on social media that hinted at shared emotions. Fans noticed that their posts often mirrored each other's moods. When Z once wrote, sometimes, peace isn't found, it's shared, Tian Xuning posted a few hours later, some people bring calm just by being near. Coincidence? Maybe. But fans didn't think so. Then came the most emotional twist of all, a special reunion project. The production company behind their last hit drama announced a behind-the-scenes documentary celebrating the success of the show, featuring cast interviews and unseen footage. Naturally, both Ziyu and Tian Xuning were invited to film together. When the trailer dropped, fans were quick to notice their undeniable chemistry hadn't faded at all. In one clip, Ziyu gently fixed Tian Xuning's microphone, their fingers brushing lightly, and for a brief moment, their eyes met. That tiny glance said everything. When the documentary premiered, it broke streaming records. Their shared laughter, their soft teasing, and the comfort they exuded around each other made viewers emotional. At one point, the interviewer asked Ziyu how the drama changed his life. He paused, smiled thoughtfully, and said, "Sometimes you meet someone who reminds you what sincerity feels like. That's what this project gave me." The comments sent fans into a frenzy. Later, during Tian Xuning's segment, she was asked what she cherished most about filming. She hesitated for a moment, then said quietly, "The people who made me feel understood." She didn't name anyone, but her eyes glistened, and fans knew. After the release, their fan bases joined forces online, celebrating the bond between them. They even began calling the pair the calm duo, a nickname inspired by how effortlessly their presence together seemed to radiate peace and warmth. But behind that peace was a story the public didn't fully know. According to one close friend, Ziyu had been Tian Xuning's silent support during a tough period in her life. When she faced intense online criticism after a past project, it was Ziyu who sent her encouraging messages, who reminded her of her worth. He never tried to fix things for her. He just stood beside her quietly. And that, she once admitted to a friend, meant more than any words. Over time, those quiet gestures began to build something unspoken. When work took them to different cities, Ziyu would send small gifts, books, music, and handwritten notes with lines like, "This song reminded me of you." And whenever she had an event, Tian Xuning would always find a way to wear something subtle but meaningful, a bracelet he'd given her, a pin he once joked about, a touch that said, "You're always with me." The public started noticing these little details too. Fans began comparing outfits and accessories, finding hidden links and messages. "They're talking to each other through their fashion," one comment read. Another said, "This isn't PR. This is poetry." Then came the news that shocked everyone. Rumors surfaced that Ziyu and Tian Xuning were in talks to star in another drama together, but this time, it wasn't a romantic comedy. It was a story about destiny, separation, and love that survives time. The idea alone sent waves of excitement through their fandoms. It felt poetic, almost like art imitating life. When asked about the casting rumors during an interview, Tian Xuning laughed softly and said, "It would be nice to work with someone who understands me that well again." Ziyu, in a separate interview, simply replied, "Some connections don't fade, even when the cameras stop rolling." Their words reignited hope that a reunion was on the horizon, not just professionally, but perhaps emotionally too. And sure enough, a few weeks later, an official announcement confirmed it. Ziyu and Tian Xuning were cast as leads in a new romantic drama titled The Seasons We Shared. The storyline: two people who reunite after years apart, realizing that time never changed what they felt. Fans were floored. It was as if the universe itself was writing their next chapter. At the press conference, the two appeared together again for the first time in months. The moment they stepped onto the stage, smiles lighting up their faces, it was as if no time had passed at all. They shared glances, soft laughter, and that familiar comfort that words could never capture. The crowd erupted with cheers and camera flashes. Even reporters couldn't help but comment, "They don't need to act, this is real chemistry." As filming began, behind-the-scenes photos showed them as close as ever, sharing umbrellas on set, exchanging playful looks, and even laughing during emotional rehearsals. The production team later said their natural connection brought a magic to the drama that no direction could manufacture. And once again, the world was watching. Fans called it fate's reunion. Some said it was destiny giving them a second chance, both on screen and perhaps off it. Because for Ziyu and Tian Xuning, this wasn't just another collaboration. It felt like a continuation of something that started long ago. As one fan beautifully commented, maybe their story isn't about falling in love. It's about finding it again and again, no matter where life takes them. And perhaps that's what makes Ziyu and Tian Xuning's connection so powerful. It's not loud, not rushed, but enduring. The kind of bond that survives distance, rumors, and time itself. The kind of love that doesn't ask to be seen, it simply exists. Stay tuned, because their next chapter, both in drama and in life, might just be the most beautiful one yet.